Good afternoon, everybody. If you don't mind, this is my first time presenting to a silent disco, so I'm going to take a couple of photos. If you guys can all say cheese, say hello, wave hi.
Thank you. I want to talk today about delivering breakthroughs in
Awesome.
and the most logical
Thank
place
you.
I thought to start was to go back to ancient Greece about 700 years before the Ptolemaic crisis. No better place.
This year,
But
on August 30th,
I want to start this journey
at 6:30 a.m.,
what great
I accomplished a goal that I had set out to accomplish a year before.
stadium.
I summited Point Lanana on Mount Kenya.
It was the first stadium race. Now the stadium race
So to put that in some perspective, here are the streaming analytics that are presented to you by Garmin, my smartwatch. I spent 3.5 days going up, 1.5 days going down. I had a 5-person team. I climbed 37 miles total. I experienced a 54-degree temperature swing from the base to the summit. I ascended 8,400 feet. I traveled 8,400 miles to get there. I reached a little bit over 16,000 feet above sea level, and I burned 17,600 calories. So the data is interesting, but these are vanity metrics. And what really matters is the story and the impact and the insight that I gained from that experience on the mountain. And that's what I'm going to share with you here today. So there's 4 key things that I learned that I'm going to share with you today. The first is that you must choose the right mountain. The second is that you must climb high and sleep low. And I'll explain what that means in a little bit. The third is that you must prepare for false summits. And the fourth is that pace is everything. So let's get into it. So when I set the goal to climb a mountain, I was originally thinking about climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the image that you see on the left. Kili has all the measurables. It is the tallest in Africa. It is one of the world's 7 summits. It has all the mystique and all the prestige. But I was after an experience, not checking boxes. And so I chose the road less traveled and the mountain less climbed. And what that means for us here today, translated to this context, is it's all about goal setting. You have to interrogate the why behind your strategic direction and attach a purpose to it. You need to take time to think about whether or not you're on the right track and be courageous enough to readjust your goals and to pivot if you need to. Number 2, climb high, sleep low. What this means on the mountain is that once you get to your camp for the day, you actually spend time going farther and going higher, even if it's off the direction of your waypoint. And the reason that you do this is to condition your body for the work that's ahead of you. So you climb high and sleep low, and you're better prepared for the future. So what this means for us in this context is that you have to be prepared to exert and to spend some resources, even if it's not entirely clear that it's going to move you directly from point A to point B. Things like research and development, things like proofs of concept, things like prototyping. Be prepared to expend some resource in directions that aren't immediately apparent to the progress on your roadmap. Climb high, sleep low. This was a data visualization of one of my acclimatization hikes. Number 3, prepare for false summits. So what this means on the mountain is there are peaks that make it appear like you have reached your summit, and they are in fact false. And I think we as customer experience professionals see false summits all of the time. So you got your first digital experience to market, and you forgot to fund things beyond release 1, false summit. You increased your velocity by 20%, but you failed to put in the mechanics to measure the customer impact, false summit. So we encounter all of these all the time, and if you prepare for them and anticipate them, you'll be much more equipped to move on more quickly and get past those moments of disappointment. And last is that pace is everything. So on the morning of the summit, we break camp at 3 in the morning with the goal to reach the summit right at sunrise. If you go too fast, you risk physical exhaustion. And if you go too fast, you also risk getting up there pre-sunlight and literally freezing your ass off waiting for the sun to rise. If you go too slow, you risk getting there in time to capture a beautiful moment like this. So for us, in this operating context, nothing happens quickly enough. Everything has to be done yesterday. So I encourage everybody to slow down to speed up and make sure that we take our time to reassess our goals and our progress, and to make sure that the organization has enough energy and enough momentum to carry on to the next pitch.